Hi, my name's Jonathan M0XXJ. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about AARL International Membership. I'm considering cancelling my renewal because I don't feel I'm getting full value anymore from my membership, and let me tell you about that. So before I start on this, there are many reasons why it's a good thing to be a member of a National Radio Society. I'm an advocate of having a strong and well-organised national society to look after the interests of radio amateurs and having a strong and united voice in an environment where our hobby is under threat on many different fronts. It's also essential we can rely on a recognised body to attract new people into the hobby. As a radio amateur living in the UK, I've been a member of the RSGB for well over 10 years now, and I benefit from the range of services that they provide. I've also been an international member of the ARRL for around about the same time, but this year I've cancelled my automatic membership renewal as I ponder on whether it's still useful and good value to me as a member. My existing membership is valid up to the end of September, and so at the time of recording this, I have a couple of more months to mull things over. The main reason I joined the ARRL in the first place was because of QST magazine. I valued the content, particularly the technical articles. Over here in the UK, I've been a Practical Wireless subscriber since 1974, and latterly, since joining the RSGB, I've also enjoyed reading the print version of Radcom. Despite having spent most of my career working in technology, I still prefer to read magazines in paper format. So my irritation with the ARRL started around a year ago. My hard copy of QST magazine suddenly stopped coming through the post, and so I called them to find out why this was. They basically told me that I needed to cough up more money or I wouldn't receive the hard copy version anymore. I asked why this was and why it had suddenly happened without any notice being given, and explained that I'd only recently renewed my membership and it was based on the fact that I was paying for a membership that included a hard copy of QST. They told me they'd migrated members over to a new digital version of QST because of the rising costs of international postage. Well, because I felt this had been badly handled, I cancelled my direct debit for the future renewal so I could have a think about it. I started to read the digital version of QST online, but I couldn't help feeling like I'd been a bit conned. Anecdotally, it appears from online videos and posts that I've seen that many other paid-up members, both domestic and international, also felt the same way as I did. Anyway, miraculously, QST started to arrive in the post again. There was no explanation, no extra money paid by me. It just appears that a lot of international members reacted badly to the sudden change. So obviously they paid for the additional fee for the airmail costs and didn't appreciate the arbitrary ceasing of the service. Inevitably, my final hard copy of QST arrived in November 2024. Curiously though, as a bit of a side note, I noticed with some amusement that on the spines of the October and the November hard copies, they're both marked up as volume 108, number 10. So that's a little curio for you, and maybe they were worth a lot of money in the future. At this point, I started to seriously consider whether it was worth me renewing the international membership of the ARRL. Other than the benefit that I got of receiving the QST magazine and then subsequently being able to read it online, there wasn't really anything else that would really make any difference to me. Looking at the comparison between being an international member of the ARRL and my own benefits of being a member of the local RSGB, there wasn't really any additional benefits that I was getting other than access to the QST magazine online. Although you don't need to be an ARRL member to use Logbook of the World, I guess it could also be perceived as being a benefit. Although I do sync a copy of my main log across to LOTW, it's not my go-to logger, and I regard it as being really technically inferior to the other online logbooks that are around. I think that the disaster of the cyber attack on the ARRL in May 2024 has made many existing international members wonder whether the benefits available to them are worth the annual subscription. They ended up paying cybercriminals $1 million ransom so they could decrypt their data, and so they obviously needed to take a close look at their finances to see how they could save money. Looking at the raw numbers, the cost of the international membership at ARRL with hard copy magazine is £16.37 cheaper per year than the RSGB equivalent. That's about $22. Looking at membership numbers between the two national radio societies over the past 10-year period, membership of both these societies have declined. The decline is more pronounced though amongst the ARRL membership. These are likely to be various social economic reasons for this, and there's also a number of videos available on YouTube which examine this in more detail. I thought it might also be worth examining the numbers of RSGB and ARRL members versus the estimated number of active radio amateurs in each respective domain. This actually isn't quite as straightforward to calculate as you'd imagine. There are only estimated ranges of active licensed amateurs for both the UK and the USA. Some numbers quoted online put the number of active USA hams as low as 500,000 and others as high as 839,000. The actual number is difficult to ascertain because of silent keys, new entrants to the hobby and those who hold multiple call signs. The actual number is more likely to be closer to around 750,000 active hams. In both countries there appears to be a larger proportion of active hams who are non-members compared to the people who are members and are active. So there's some facts and figures. What do you think? If you're an international member of either society, what additional benefits do you think would make it worth staying? I'm still sitting on the fence here, but I'll be interested in your comments. Please place them below. So that's all from me, Jonathan, M0XXJ.